my title before is a system analyst. It means I don't talk to people that much. It's more on talking to computers. And then day by day, I'm working as 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's my office job before. And then I noticed that if this is what I'm doing every day, this could be my results. So what I want to share with you guys is a lot of people, they are thinking that if we are not changing what we are doing every day, the results might be changed. Actually, that's the most crazy idea. But what I have realized that time is if we want to achieve something different, we must do something different. Do you guys agree?
Yes!
The 4.5 years ago, that's the time I was introduced to this business, USANA. So that's the time, actually I don't have any business background. I don't know how to talk in front of other people. I don't know how to communicate properly. I don't know how to, I don't know anything about nutrition. So how we did it, that's the question. Because actually for those people who don't know me, I'm someone who is very considered extremely introvert. I'm someone who doesn't talk much. But the question is, why am I speaking in front of you right now? The realization there is, everything can be learned. Do you agree?
Yes.
So what I'm going to share with you right now is what we have learned during these past 4 years in a shortcut version. So, first thing first, there are a lot of people doing USANA, but not everyone becomes successful. Do you agree?
Yes.
Why is that so? It means maybe the effort of everyone is not the same. Do you agree?
Yes.
But there are a lot of people, for example, there are a lot of teams doing USANA as well. For example, in Extreme 111, we are already the best team. But why is that not everyone becomes successful as well? Of course, it still depends on individual effort. So what I'm going to share with you right now is the difference of those people who become successful and those who are not. Okay? So first of all, what I want to share with you guys is success leaves clues. A lot of people, they are thinking, success, is it born? Is it just because of luck? Is it just because of the environment? Is it just because of maybe at the right timing? Actually, success leaves clues. This is the success formula. The success formula can be applied in anything, in everything. For example, you want to lose weight. You must have a goal. For example, your goal is to lose 20 kilograms in 3 months. So you must have a plan for that. How are you going to achieve that? You must take action. Once you take action, you will achieve your results. The results that you want. Likewise, in this business, we have our goals. Actually, most of the people, the goals here is to achieve the real freedom. Do you agree?
Yes.
So what is the real freedom? A lot of people, it's not about money. Because a lot of people, they have money, they have a lot of money, but they don't have time. So the real freedom is you have the financial freedom and the time freedom. So what are the differences of those successful people and those who are not here in USANA? First is their attitude. For those successful people, and those who don't, or maybe who are not successful. So for those who are successful, the main difference in their attitude is they have the GLLA. What is GLLA?
Good learning and listening attitude.
Yes, good learning and listening attitude. It means when I'm teaching something, you're able to listen, you're able to learn. Not just listening. A lot of people, they are listening from this side and then going out from the other side. You get what I mean?
Yes.
So GLLA is very important because when you're doing this business for a long time, you may be attended a lot of NDOs already. But it's a test for us. For example, for those uplines, are you still able to take down notes when you are still listening to this NDO?
Yes.
Yes. For those new ones, are you still able to take down notes and learn from the new things? So those are the things that having this GLLA. And for those who are not, it's what we call ACME. Or in English is I know already. Means I already know. So whenever you have that kind of thought, for example, you attended some training, whenever you have a thought that, that thing I already know, whenever you have that thought, that is the starting point of your failure. Remember. Because whenever you have that thought, your mind is closed. When your mind is closed, you cannot learn anything. When you stop learning, you stop learning in USANA. Are you guys learning?
Yes.
So these are the simple thing. This is the most basic thing actually. Because a lot of people, when I share with them, for example, prospect list, do the prospect list. And then after one training, after two trainings, when I check with them, so do you have your prospect list already? They said, I leave it at home. Or maybe, not yet. So what happened? If you are really good listening and really applying what you have learned, make sure you also you also apply what you have learned as well. So next, GLLA versus ACME. Big business mindset versus small business mindset. So when you join USANA, how much money you take out to buy the products and for you to start the business? Around $1,000 plus dollars. Some of you maybe 1 BC, so maybe around 500 plus to 600 plus dollars. So do you think USANA is a big business?
Yes.
Not everyone. That's why not everyone becomes successful here in this business, because we all think differently. So for those who are successful in this business, or those who are going to become successful, they think this business is a very big business. They think this is $1 million business. Just imagine, if you are going to join USANA with $3 million, right after joining, what will you do? What will be your action? What will be your commitment? If it is a raining day, are you going to stop coming to office? No. If it is maybe if you got 1 or 2 rejection, are you going to quit USANA? No. So that's the difference. So a lot of people, they are having the mindset that, oh, it's just $1,000, it's just $1,300, it's just maybe less than $3,000 a year. It's a small business. That's why it's okay to do and it's okay not to do. That's why most of the people, since this is something that they are out of their comfort zone, that's why later on they won't be able to achieve the results that they want. So like me, actually, for that time, for example, I'm someone very analytical. So 4.5 years ago, I've already analyzed if I continuously doing my job, for example, continuously working every day, working for the rest of my life. By the time of 50 years old, I'm still not able to retire. That's the answer that I have concluded based on my analysis. So I asked myself, is that really the results that I want? And I got a clear answer. The answer is no. So if I don't want that to happen to me, I'll make sure that I'll do something different so that I can achieve something different. You get what I mean?
Yes.
So this is when you think this is a big business, your commitment will be different. Every day you want to come to office. Every day you want to make sure that this week I'm going to earn. Next week I'm going to earn. Next week, I'm going to earn. Every week, I'm going to earn. Okay? For small business mindset, since most of the time, they think that this is not my comfort zone. This is not what I used to do. For example, I'm a software engineer or project manager. This is what I'm usually doing is talking to computer. What I'm usually doing is analyzing those systems or how to improve the existing systems in different IT programs. But doing this business is not something that I usually do. For example, I need to talk to a lot of people. I need to train in front of you guys. I need to share my knowledge. I need to learn a lot of things. I need to listen to audiobooks, study the business, study the products, and all the ingredients, and how to use it, what will be the dosage. So, those are the things not part of my usual routine. But I'm willing to do it. Why? Because for me to achieve something different, I must do something different. So that's the difference between the big business and small business mindset. So the next thing is about belief. The first thing is about the company. Actually, for those successful people, they know that this company is the best company. But for you guys, do you agree that USANA is the best company?
Yes.
So do you think that we have something unique as compared to other companies?
Yes.
So for example, our founder, he is a scientist, not a businessman. It's something to be proud of actually. Because when I researched so many companies, I've seen that USANA is something to be proud of. Because the vision of the company itself is different. Most of the companies, their vision is to be the #1 company in the world, to be the best sales company in the world. But for USANA, the target is USANA family will be the healthiest family on earth. See the difference?
Yes.
So the company itself is different, and we got the Best of State award. So USANA is in the Utah state. Since Utah has a lot of pharmaceutical and nutraceutical companies, and we got the Best of State award. So it means we are the best companies based on that award itself. So when I research a lot of companies, they hardly get 20 awards. But we have more than 100 awards in the last few years alone. So the next thing is about the products. So who among you guys didn't attend the training of KJ just now? Didn't? Okay, so I'll just talk a bit about the products. For products, actually, a lot of companies, for example, they are all saying that we have this testimony, we have this testimony. This person become better because of this. USANA also have that. But what is the difference in USANA is we have the scientific data. We have scientific proof that we are the best. So who among you guys have the book Nutritional Supplement Comparative Guide? Who among you guys have it? Quite a lot. So for those who don't, I would highly encourage you to have one. Because, for example, most of us are not from medical background. Most of us are not health professional. So, enable for you to have that credibility to share the products, this is the best book that we can have. We can leverage on the expertise of other people to share the product. So this is a third-party book. This is not created by USANA. It's a third-party book comparing all the products available in the market, and then USANA is #1 there. And then the next thing is about the industry. So about the industry, usually I would highly encourage all of you guys to watch one video. But I've noticed that when I ask somebody to watch this video, maybe only the 5% who are watching. So for today, I'm going to share with you this video. I'm going to play it now, so everyone can watch together. So I would highly encourage that you prepare your notes now. So it's a 20+ minutes video, but it's a video that's very powerful. So just like this. Do you think a lot of people are negative about network marketing?
Yes.
Do you want to switch their concept, their mindset of being negative to very positive?
Yes.
I used to be very negative.
Yes.
Yes. Just to share with you one experience, I used to be, before USANA, I was invited in a new skin presentation. At the middle of the presentation, they asked me to step out of the room. Because they can see that my negative vibes is the strongest among the room, I can affect everyone inside the room. So that's how negative I am about network marketing. So how do I become positive? Actually, when the day I joined this, I didn't know it's network marketing. So that time, I'm still not yet fully convinced. But after I watched this video, I become super positive about it.
Yeah.
So this is the video. Be ready. Be ready with your notes.
Cue the light.
Cue the lights. Lights, please.
Ang dami na excited. Matulog.
Uy! Bawal matulog!
Yung right nose na, right down nose.
Yeah.
Right.
Hello, my name is Tim Sells. I'd like to first say that you're not going to see glitz here, so please don't expect it. I'm not an entertainer nor an actor. I've created this video as a tool designed to educate people about a business concept that works, for people who are willing to put 100% of themselves into something.
Yes.
See, it takes 200% to be successful in business. 100% must come from you. 100% must come from the business vehicle that you've chosen. Business vehicle meaning how you earn your living, how you support your family. I've seen people who relentlessly pour 100% of themselves into a business vehicle, profession, or job, but that vehicle doesn't have the capability to give back 100%. The mechanics of wealth are just not there. But no one has ever fully explained to you why it doesn't work and why it's a waste of your valuable time if your goal is financial success. This video is for the person who is willing to put in their 100%. They're only lacking the right business vehicle, the explanation of why it's right, and the evidence that it does in fact work. Even though I say you must put in 100%, that doesn't mean that you have to work it full time. I didn't. That doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your family time, nor does it mean you have to have prior experience. I didn't. What you'll learn right here has allowed me to build a $25 million company. Now, a $25 million company has certainly been done before. However, this was done where no employees were required. No accounts receivable, no accounts payable, no overhead, and very little inventory. Recently, I said those words to a business owner who said back to me, "Sounds too good to be true." My response back to him was, "Is that a good enough reason to stop looking?" He paused for a couple of seconds and he said, "That wouldn't be very smart, would it?" What I suggest you do is not just watch this information, but study it. What I want to do first is create an equal playing field between people who know how to evaluate a business and those who don't. Because me explaining this business wouldn't be very effective until you understand how to place value to a business. The simplest thing for someone to do when they don't understand something is to go, it doesn't work. The way I'll accomplish this equal playing field is to give you 4 main principles to look for in a business. Number 1 is a huge expanding market. If you were the best vinyl record producer in the world, would it matter today? No. It doesn't matter how good you are in an industry that's eroding. Number 2 is a unique and consumable product. I'll cover unique first. If you don't have a unique product, then you compete on price and convenience. Who has the best price? Who's closest to the customer? Yet if you have uniqueness, then people must come to you. Next is consumable. If you have a non-consumable product, you're basically unemployed until your next sell. You want the repeat sales of consumable products. Whether it's every time someone picks up the telephone, connects to the internet, renews a membership, turns on the electricity, or gets to the bottom of a box or a bottle, You want those repeating commissions because it can pay you again and again. Number 3 is timing. Primarily here I'm talking about trends and timing. During all cycles of the economy, there are people who are making money and losing money. The makers are the ones in front of large trends. The losers disregard trends. How do you get in front of large trends? You study what creates them. Without any hesitation, in today's society, it's the baby boom generation that creates the largest trends. The baby boomers are a group of babies born between 1946 and 1964. There were 76 million of them born in the United States, a billion of them worldwide. Why is this group so talked about? They're 1/3 of the U.S. population and control 65% of all the money. I've likened the magnitude of all those babies to a basketball moving through a garden hose. They reshape every industry they go through. See, if you can predict where this basketball is going down the garden hose, you possess the ability to make fortunes. I want to give you some historical examples of the obvious buying patterns of these boomers. It started with a company called Gerber back in 1940, who were barely known. But by 1955, just 10 years after the boomers were born, they had sold 1.8 billion jars of strained baby food. As the boomers took their first steps, it was Buster Brown and Kenny Shoes. When the boomers went out to play, Mattel and Hasbro got rich providing toys to this young group. In 1957, we built more elementary schools in the U.S. in 1 year just to handle the overflow than we did in any 12-year period before or after. As the boomers went through their teens, Dairy Queen, McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken became billion-dollar companies feeding the boomers. When the boomers moved through their 20s and 30s, which was in the mid-70s, what was the industry to be in? Real estate. Why? Because the boomers had heard from their parents one time too many, as long as you're living under my roof, you'll do as I say. So they wanted their own roof, which created a 15-year real estate boom. And people are still talking today about the great time frame to be in real estate. Then what happened to the real estate market in the late 80s? It began its decline. Why? The basketball had moved through the real estate industry. Another example of this is the U.S. stock market. Several years ago, I heard a stock market analyst speaking on the radio saying that he just couldn't believe the stock market had a 15-year rise. Notice the number 15 years keeps coming up. Anyone with a good understanding of the baby boomers could have seen this coming and profited from the recent stock market activity. Why does this 15-year number keep coming up? Because the baby boomers were born between 1946 and 1964. And so 18 years separates the front edge from the back edge. A very important number for you. If you look for trends on the front side of the basketball, you get the full 18 years for your products to be popular. That's the reason you study the nose of the basketball. So your business, no matter what your business is to be looking at what industries are expanding or which industries are about to expand. You shouldn't care how long you've been doing something or how long you've been in school to learn something. Are you in front of trends or not? Don't have a loyalty to something just because you've been educated in it or doing it for a long time. So looking at the current trends, we basically got 1 billion people who are in their 50s and 60s. Since that's the case, what business do you want to be in? Let's look at some obvious current and future trends. Health and looking younger are going to be tremendous trends. The boomers do not like what aging is doing to them. So products that fend off aging as well as vanity issues will continue to boom. Businesses that focus on retirement issues will do very well. The crux of it will start with the boomers having enough money to retire. Businesses that offer ways to make money will obviously flourish. Legal matters such as wills and estate planning will become large trends. Efficiencies will also grow. The television was too far away from the couch for the boomers, so they invented the remote control device. Today, they have their entire library of books and music in their cell phones. The boomers have always been enamored with technologies that make life easier. These technologies will actually create industries. For example, the computer created the need for antivirus software. The internet has created a need for identity theft protection and firewalls. But there will be many additional industries created by the computer and internet technologies. It is the computer plus the internet that made the iPod, iPad, and iPhone possible. As a side note, the baby boomers are not the only trendsetters. They are just the largest and have most of the money. As the world becomes one, The international market will play a big role, as well as the group born just after the baby boomers that are known as Generation X. But remember, the boomers control 65% of all the money. So when a bright Generation X person creates a great new product or service, they must make it simple enough that a baby boomer can understand it. Otherwise, that product will not reach mass acceptance. Those are some of the big trends. So if you want to be brilliantly compensated, you must focus on industries and companies that have positioned themselves in front of these trends. All right, let's move forward. Number 4 is leverage. I'm going to spend some time on this one because we're not really taught this in our society. We're taught to go get a good education, build a resume, and exchange our expertise for someone's dollars. The problem with that is if we're not exchanging our expertise, we're not making any dollars. So vacation time is costly. A walk around the golf course, costly. Family time, although extremely important, is costly. I'll define the word leverage as an increased means by which to attain something. One form of leverage is investing $5 million and earning 10% interest, which will yield you about 41 grand a month in income. So whether you're enjoying family time or playing golf or vacationing, you're still enjoying 41 grand a month in income. You're leveraging off your money. That's a leverage everyone would love, but very few have it. Let me explain another kind of leverage that's available to everyone, including yourself. Incidentally, if you get nothing more out of this video than a better understanding of this little simple concept I'm going to explain, you'll have gained something very valuable for watching it. Imagine, if you will, you own a company. You employ just one person, me. I work for 8 hours on Monday. You work for the same 8 hours on Monday that I do. Now listen closely. You get paid on 16 hours worth of work because you take a portion of my productivity as income back to yourself. You're leveraging off my efforts because I'm your employee. So theoretically, the more employees you have working for you, the more leverage you have. However, have you ever had employees? If you have, you know that in theory, hiring employees sounds great, but it's very difficult to reach leverage through employees. I've heard it said that if you have one employee, you have one headache. If you have 100 employees, you run an adult daycare center. And the reason being is this: no employee will ever work as hard for your company as you will, because they don't own it. Here's my rule of thumb for reaching true leverage. If there's one sentence that epitomizes the entire video, it would be this: to have true leverage, you must create a situation where everyone has the same amount to gain. Only then do you have true leverage. Let me give you an example of this type of leverage. Let's say that I'm a real estate broker and I hire an agent named Robert. Robert goes out and sells a building. Robert earns a percentage of the selling price of the building, and so do I, the broker. Why do I, the broker, earn a percentage when it was Robert who sold the building? Well, I did some of the advertising. I trained Robert. I had the initiative to go get my broker's license in the first place. I put up the risk. I did a lot of things. And so it's valid that I, as the broker, earn my money. But Robert doesn't work for me as an employee. He's an independent contractor. He just hangs his real estate license on my wall. My point here is the broker and the agent have the same amount to gain from the sale of the home. It is totally in the agent's interest to earn more money, which is a form of leverage for the broker. There is a flaw in this leverage situation that I've shown you, and it's this: the broker can have multiple agents, but the agents cannot. The broker has leverage, the agents don't. Until the agents do what most brokers dread. What happens when I, the broker, have been real effective at teaching Robert to be a good agent? What's Robert going to want to do in a couple of years? Be his own broker, right? Is this good for me, the broker? No. Because as soon as he becomes a broker, two bad things happen to me. Number one, he breaks away from me and I lose him as an income source. And two, worse than that, he's now my competitor that I trained. He knows all my good stuff. By the way, this doesn't just happen in the real estate industry. It happens in practically every industry. Have you ever heard the expression, I'm just going to work there for experience? What does that mean? It means I'm going to strip them of their knowledge and then go do it myself. If you're a business owner, how many people have you trained who are no longer working for you? How many people have you trained to be your competitors? Well, this gets worse. Let's say that Robert is now a broker right down the street. What will he do now that he's a broker? He'll go out and hire his own agents. And let's say one of those agents is Linda. Linda also eventually wants to be a broker. So she becomes a competitor to me that I indirectly trained, as well as Robert, who I directly trained. And this continues on and on. I actually created a chain of competitors that I trained. What if we did a whole paradigm shift? Here's where this becomes brilliant. Let's say instead I'm going to empower Robert to become a broker. I want him to become a broker from day one. See, the only way that you or I can retain a leader is provide him or her with the same opportunity for growth that we have. Hence, an opportunity where everyone has the same amount to gain. So from day one, I'm going to encourage Robert to be a broker. And when he does, he doesn't break away from me and become my competitor. He shifts from agent to broker, which now allows him to sponsor his own agents. Now, to create an incentive for me, the broker, to always help Robert and his agents, I'm still going to earn a percentage of what he and his agents sell. And shouldn't I? I train him. I put up the risk and all those reasons I mentioned earlier. Now, the percentage I earn from Robert and his organization should be a lot smaller than when he was an agent, but I should still earn a percentage. That's my incentive to keep working with them. Now, some people look at this and say, gosh, isn't that one of those pyramids? And what's the perception of a pyramid? People at the top making all the money and the people down below do all the work, right? Isn't that the perception? Let me just make a quick point before I discuss the pyramid issue. It's not the geometric shape that people have a problem with. This geometric shape is probably the shape of your family tree, the shape of our government. To the architect, it's the strongest structure known to man. Every organizational structure in the world is this shape. So the shape isn't the problem. However, that perception, people at the top earn all the money, let me illustrate that for you. Here's a typical corporation. At the top, you have a CEO, which stands for Chief Executive Officer. Does the president earn more money than the CEO?
No.
Not normally. How about below the president? Do any of the vice presidents earn more money than the president? No. Let me ask this question, and I want you to really think about it. What would happen if some of the vice presidents of a corporation made more money than the president? Really, what would happen? Talk about total confusion. This whole process is called delegation. Each level of the corporation earns less income. The reason the president can tell the vice president what to do is because they make more money. So the corporate structure is people at the top making the majority of the money, and the people at the bottom do not. The CEO of any corporation earns off the productivity of, or is leveraged off of, everyone in his or her corporation. Whether that CEO personally hired every employee or someone else in the company hires them. So the CEO, and only the CEO, earns on multiple levels of his or her company. And the model that I'm suggesting as being brilliant is where you, the individual, are given that same opportunity to earn on multiple levels of brokers and agents, just as the CEO of a corporation is. From here on, I'll refer to this form of marketing as network marketing. In network marketing, you, the individual, are given the opportunity to earn off the productivity of the people in your organization, whether you personally sponsor them or someone in your organization sponsors them. Remember that I said to reach true leverage, you must create a situation where everyone has the same amount to gain. Well, that's what I just described. Here's what makes the network marketing structure the absolute fair structure available. In most network marketing companies, everyone can earn a certain number of levels deep of the organization they build. Everyone in the company can earn that same number of levels deep, like maybe 4 levels deep or 6 levels deep. Let's say we use 4 levels. So if you build an organization to be more productive, then you would earn more money than I would, even if you were in my organization. In the example shown, you would earn on 3 levels I couldn't reach, because everyone gets the same number of levels. There are people in my organization right now that earn more money than I do. Do you know what I call that? Fair. Shouldn't it be that way? I mean, take any structure. Shouldn't the most productive person in that structure make the most money? Now I'd like to show you an interview that I did a few years ago with Dr. Charles King, who holds a PhD from Harvard and is a professor of marketing at the University of Illinois Chicago, who actually teaches network marketing at the university. Dr. King, we're delighted to have you here.
I'm pleased to be here, Tim.
Dr. King, could you tell us a little of your education and your business background?
Tim, I'm a professor of marketing at the University of Illinois at Chicago. I got my bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of Texas in Austin, spent a tour of duty with the Exxon Corporation, and then returned to get my doctorate in business administration from Harvard University. More important to this discussion, over the last 6 years, I've been involved in doing research, teaching, and consulting in network marketing.
So coming from such a conservative school, and I know you a little bit, I know you to be very conservative, what caused you to look at network marketing to begin with?
In 1990, we had a major economic recession in the United States. The Midwest and Chicago particularly were very badly hit. As a result, the interviewers stopped coming to campus. We were graduating hundreds of students a semester, and they weren't getting jobs. Our alumni were coming back to us, losing their jobs, looking for help. We had nothing to offer them. Now, I started looking, because of my background in business consulting, at alternative career paths. I went out and I looked at starting your own business, at home-based businesses. I looked at franchising. I looked at direct selling. And in the direct selling arena, I backed into network marketing. Now, I was very cynical, skeptical. Tim, I was negative about network marketing. They don't teach network marketing at the Harvard Business School, and I didn't know much about it. The end result was one of my students who was on the team asked me, "Why are you so negative about network marketing?" I looked at that young man and I said, "Son, I know enough to know I don't want to know anymore." That student looked at me and he said, "Professor, if I gave you that answer to that question with no more information than you have, you would give me an F." I turned to him and I said, "Son, you're absolutely right. I have no basis for that conclusion. You just made an A." As a result, we went to the library, we went to meetings, and for the next 6 months, we did due diligence on the network marketing industry. I visited the top companies, I talked to network marketing leaders, I became an evangelist. In 1990-91, we started teaching network marketing in the marketing curriculum at the university.
Suppose you run across the super skeptic. What advice do you have for them?
Tim, I would recommend they do precisely what I did. I was a super skeptic. I did my due diligence, I investigated the industry, and I drew my own conclusions. I strongly recommend that you do your due diligence and then begin to define precisely what role you want to play in the network marketing industry. Set realistic expectations. If there's a single cause for failure in this industry, it's the get-rich-quick syndrome. Thinking that you can come into the industry and make enormous sums of money with no work. I argue by contrast that if you set realistic expectations, you develop a plan of action to guide your business development, you can be successful.
And that's coming from a Harvard Business School graduate who was a true skeptic, but through due diligence, he learned the truth. Warren Buffett owns a network marketing company. If you don't know who he is, he's typically listed in the top 5 richest people in the world. He created his wealth by investing in and buying the highest quality companies. Why do you think Microsoft or AT&T, Gillette, Colgate, Citibank, IBM, Toyota, Xerox, Texas Instruments, General Motors, General Electric, AOL, Oracle, Sun Microsystems, Coca-Cola, and many others distribute some or all their products and services through network marketing? They use this method to distribute products because network marketing is a very efficient model to distribute products and services. These large corporations are firm testimony to the industry's success and credibility. This confirms what Professor King was saying about that the industry has come of age and is now a true profession. The reason so many people are coming into network marketing is because people want control of their life. They want a quality of life, and network marketing truly offers that. I hear people all the time complaining that they are too busy or don't have enough time. People act as though time owns them instead of them owning time. Have you ever noticed that there are people who, with 24 hours, earn $10,000 a year? And there are people in the same 24 hours who earn $10 million a year? Let me explain the difference. I've heard people say this phrase: it's easier to just do it myself than try to get other people to do it. Whenever I hear that phrase, I know that person just nailed their feet to the floor. All they can do is expend their time, not invest their time. Here's a secret. Wealth is hidden from those who must do it all themselves. Wealth exposes itself to those patient enough to train others. When you understand the power of educating and empowering others so that you get more done, you're truly on your way to wealth. Now, with that understanding of the importance of training others so you get more done, look at network marketing, and you'll see why I call it brilliant compensation. In network marketing, what you teach and train others to do is duplicate what you do, which is to find and train others. This is actually multiplying you. That's why I say, next to your spiritual growth and your family, there is nothing in the world you can do that will reward you better than investing your time in network marketing. I'd like to cover one last thing in closing, which I feel is one of the most important points for you to fully understand the value of network marketing. Let me illustrate something to you that is so profound. What's the maximum number of hours you could work in a day? 24 hours, right? So if you didn't sleep all day, you could work 24 straight hours. What if you didn't sleep for a whole year? You could actually work 8,760 hours in 1 year. But that's the maximum number of hours you could work in a year. I have 56,000 people in my organization worldwide. Well, let's suppose that all 56,000 people work just 1 hour out of the year. 56,000 people times 1 hour each equals 56,000 hours of work that I'm being paid on. Well, for most people to earn on 56,000 hours of work, they'd have to work for over 6 years, 24 hours a day without sleep to put in the same amount of hours that I could in 1 hour a year. Let me throw in something really ridiculous. Suppose all my 56,000 people worked 1 8-hour day in a year. 56,000 people times 8 hours is 448,000 hours I'm being paid on. Well, it would take most people working over 51 years, 24 hours a day, to do what I could do in 8 hours a year. 8 hours in 1 year versus 51 years working 24 hours a day? Doesn't seem fair, does it? It's definitely not fair. What's not fair is that you haven't understood this until today, and other people have. But now that you understand it, take responsibility for it. Don't go running and try to create reasons why you can't do this. You can do this. I don't say any of this to impress you. I don't need to impress you. This is an educational-only video. My purpose in creating this tool is to contribute back to that woodpile that so generously gave to me. Because network marketing has given me a lifestyle I previously couldn't have imagined. And because network marketing has given me total financial and time freedom, I feel it my responsibility to explain the industry in an understandable way. So I say all of this only to impress upon you that the difference between the wealthy and everyone else is leverage. You've got to understand that. And nothing gives you, the individual, leverage in such an ethical way like network marketing can. So go get a pad of paper, write down what you really want in life. Then call the person who gave you this video and tell them whether you're an A, B, or C. C is see you later. No thanks. That's fine with us because your relationship with the person who gave you this video is more important to us than anything. Or you're a B. A B is I'm a B. I want to first explore the product. If that's you, then do that. Don't procrastinate. The #1 killer of financial success is procrastination. People just putting it off until tomorrow, and they've somehow convinced themselves that they'll actually do it tomorrow. You know what I'm talking about. As soon as I'm done with this project, then I'll have more time. Or as soon as little Jimmy gets back to school, then I can. And they never do. If a person has an excuse, they have all they need to fail. Don't let that be you. Get your product today. Or you're an A, and that means absolutely. No, you don't have all your questions answered, but you see enough to start and begin your training. Very well done to you in your ability to make a decision. If it's late at night and you just watch this, don't be concerned that the person who gave this to you is sleeping right now. Don't do that. And if they're not, wake them up. Tell them, hey, now that I understand this thing, I can't sleep. And if I can't sleep, you're not going to sleep. They'll appreciate that call. So call that person and tell them whether you're an A, B, or C. That's it. Join us. You'll be glad you did. Now is the right time, the smart time. Thank you for taking the time to view this video. I hope it's been educational to you. What I really hope is that you'll put this information to good use. Next, you'll see some common questions that you can interact with. I look forward to working with you, should our paths cross. Until then.
Have you learned a lot?
Yes!
You guys agree with the video?
Yes!
Actually, that's the secret, that only 20 plus minutes video, it can change the mindset.
Correct.
Yeah. So it can change our mindset. So in terms of industry, last time I don't have 100% belief. But after I watched that video, it changed my mind and it changed my results. So it's not just happening in the Philippines. In Philippines, we are also the #1 because the #1 income earner in the Philippines is also from our team. So in Singapore, that time I'm still having some doubt. Will it work in Singapore? So 4.5 years ago, I'm having some doubt. But I said, I heard from my mentor. He said, if you want to become successful, make sure you believe. Because in other circumstances, in other circumstances, is more on to see is to believe. But in USANA, you need to believe for you to see. So here, after I believe that we are all the best, that's the time we achieve the best results in our team. So why is our team the best team? Because we have a very good system. We have the best system. Of course, we are still improving. Continuous improving is the key. But we are currently having the best system. What is so different between from our teams to others with others is we have checklists. Who among you guys have checklists? Extreme checklists. So some of you guys don't have that checklist yet. So make sure you purchase your checklist there. Meron pa available now? Wednesday.
Walang associate.
Okay. On Wednesday, when you attend the training, make sure you buy your own checklist, and then do the training one by one. And then once you finish that, you know what will be your next step. So we are organized. So for you to come in here in Extreme 111, it's not, I'm blurred, I don't know what to do. Unlike some other people, when they do USANA, they don't know what to do. But in USANA, well, we are well organized. Okay? And then on top of that, we are having something called close lining. So in one organization, for example, you have A, B, C, and D. This is your organization. B is the downline of A. Clear? C is the downline of A. D is the downline of B and downline of A. So B is the upline of D. So what is the relationship between these two?
Cross line.
Yeah, they are cross line. So they are cross line. In typical team setup, cross line are not allowed to talk to each other. But in Extreme 111, we encourage you to talk to each other because everyone has their own strength. For example, this guy, he is very good in presentation. And this guy is very good in closing. They can help each other. And then if they have one guest, for example, C has another guest, the guest is E. C doesn't know how to present yet, but B knows. So they can work together, work on this guest. When they close, it's still under C. And then next time, B has another guest. For example, he has another guest named F. Since they work together, he doesn't know how to close. But C knows how to close, B knows how to present. So they can work together. He invited F, and then after F listening to them both, he decided to join, so he is under B. So it's what we call the teamwork. So the more close, because in one organization, most likely you will have less upline or less downline compared to crossline. You will have more crossline than the other two. So, enable for you to have a better teamwork, work with your crossline. So, enable for you to work with this crossline, what we call the close line in XTRM 111, because everyone is so close to each other. The golden rule is deposit first before you withdraw. So don't ask for help, and then ask for help again if you are not depositing something into them. Okay? And then next, lastly, in belief, we have company, products, industry, team, and lastly is you or yourself. Do you believe that you can become successful in this business?
Yes!
Not everyone is answering.
Yes.
Do you believe?
Yes.
Actually, whether you think you can or you can't, you're probably right. That's according to Uncle Henry Ford. He said you can become successful if you believe in it. But on the other hand, you can also believe that you cannot become successful here. You are also correct. Because whatever your belief is, that will be your action again. And whatever your action is, that will be your results. So, this is like a perfect combination. This is you are already in the best thing. You're already in the best industry. You're already having the best products and the best company. By the way, going back to the company, for network marketing company, usually first 1 to 5 years, the business is growing very well. But from 6 years to 10 years, the business, 90+% of the business will shut down, will close down. But why is USANA become 24 years already and still growing strong? It's because the company itself is very good, very stable. We have a system in that company that is working, really working. So that's why we are already in the best company, having the best products, best industry, best team. The last is you. Do you believe that you can become successful here?
Yes!
So next is about commitment. And consistency. The commitment here will be depends on how many hours are you willing to give USANA in able to achieve your dreams. In a day, we have 24 hours. We divide it into 3. So it will be 8 hours at the front, 8 hours at the middle, and 8 hours at the last. So let's say the first 8 hours is your sleep. Let's assume that all of us can sleep 8 hours a day. And then second 8 hours is your work or your employment. In most cases, we are working 8 hours a day. And the third 8 hours will be the etc. or what we call staff. So what we are doing here in USANA is, we are not asking you to quit your job right now. We are only going to take away maybe 2 to 3 hours a day from this etc. thing. But when you do it consistently, for example, you do it consistently for 2 to 4 years, eventually you don't need to work anymore. So one day you will have more time. This will be yours. Just imagine you don't need to work anymore, and then you are having the leverage income, and your income can be even more and more, just like what Team Sales has illustrated in that video. So that's about this commitment. So write it down on your notes. How much time are you willing to spend in USANA in a day, and in a week, how many days? how many days in a week, and how many hours in a day. And show it to your upline. Okay lang ba sa inyo?
Yes.
That will be the key actually. Actually, it's difficult to commit at the start because we all are not doing this. It's not part of our routine. But for you to have something different, you must do something different. So that's what I'm saying. Then last, not the last. Discouragement. For this key, discouragement, anything negative when you're doing this business, it must go up only. Go up only. What does it mean? So whenever you feel discouragement, for example, you have been rejected, don't share it with your close lines. Don't share it with your downlines. Now, never share it with your downlines unless if you want to break your business. So always share with your upline because your uplines have more experience than you. Your uplines came before you in this business. So most probably they know how to handle that situation. Most probably they have that experience in handle that situation. So for example, actually it's very normal that we have rejections. Rejection is very, very common. Actually, it happens every day. For example, you are calling a taxi. That taxi can ignore you and go straight. Are you going to be frustrated all day for the whole month and say, I'm not going to call the taxi again? Maybe you won't do that because it doesn't make sense. So just call the next one. Maybe that person is in hurry picking up someone else. So just not now. So always remember, when people say no, it means not now. So rejection is not permanent. It's only at that moment only. So when they say no right now, they maybe come back to you after some time.
Yes.
And then lastly is the excitement.
Excitement.
Are you guys still excited about the next training?
Yes!
Excitement. So excitement is the energy, is the fuel of this business. Whether you are excited or not, your guests will feel it. Actually, the number one most powerful energy is the excitement. Number one most powerful tool that you're able to make your guests join you is because of the excitement. Hello, yeah. So a lot of people, like for example, last time we have one guest here, one special guest from Korea. She's an executive 2-star diamond director. Her name is Yoonjin Kwon. She's able to have someone join her in Taiwan. Even she doesn't know how to speak English so well. Even the Taiwanese also cannot speak English. And she is not able to speak Mandarin as well. She can only speak Korean, and Taiwanese can only speak Chinese. But she's able to let a lot of Taiwanese join her just with her excitement. So that's the most powerful thing. So for you to feel this excitement, actually every time we need to practice it because in our everyday journey, we are so nasasanay tayo. We are so used to that. Focus on the negative things. Because whenever you see Facebook, whenever you see some news, most people like to complain. Most people like to share negative things on their newsfeed. But try to change your mindset right now, starting today. Focus on the positive things. Whenever you see something positive, share it to the world, share it to the team. Because the positive energy is the most powerful energy that you can have in this business. And the number one source of positive energy is here in the office.
Yes.
So if you want to master how to handle those discouragements, come to office, every day can help you.
Correct.
That's the best solution. So that ends my part.
Woohoo.